Hey friends, let's go along and wrap some beautiful soap. I'll show you exactly how I do this, and it's a budget-friendly option. So now what we are going to do, my friends, is we have our soap here. Now this is the soap I made originally, and it has kind of a rough top. Now it's not going to wrap up very beautiful, so we want to just snip off the top, which I've already done with these ones here. So all I've got is my little soap cutter, and then I'm literally just going to snip off the end. We'll just cut that little bit off, and we're just going to cut that off and throw that in the container, and then we've got that, which is nice and neat, and you can neaten it off more if you want. So I'm literally going to neaten all of these ones off, and you can use these ones later. They're just the samples, or you could leave it on your bench so people can just take it if you've got a shop or a studio where people come and visit, and then they can just take a piece. Now, of course, you have to weigh your soap again. Just make sure that it is the right amount. Like my soap generally is 110 to 130 grams, and these ones are going to be 110 because I'm cutting the ends off. And so some will be 114, some will be 110, some might be 115, but it'll be very similar. So let's just cut off all of the ends. And then I'm going to show you the second bit, which is really, really good, because what we can actually do is we can wrap these beautifully, and it's really cheap to wrap them. You can use wrapping paper if you like. You know, you can use so many different things. Now, if you're going to get them in a parcel and you want them to be straight, like I said, there's no good having the beautiful tops because they won't actually wrap up very nicely. And I know because I've done that before, some of my other ones. So going forward, we will have boxes coming soon for my products, which is really exciting, but it takes a long time to get here, let's be honest. And I have lots of this soap. So I have this one and a green one. And the reason that it's not the same shape as my other ones is I thought, oh, look, I was going to do this bar shape and I thought it looked really cool. But then after I did it, I really didn't like it at all. So hence why, you know, I've changed it. I'm just going to tighten up my string on my cutter. Now, if you love this cutter, I got this one from Aussie Soap Supplies in Australia. I think it's like $100 and something, but it was well worth the money. I love it. I know it's only a single cutter, but for me, to me, it's beautiful. And I actually kind of find it calming cutting soap. I quite enjoy doing this. Oh, shivers. Wow. That's not calming, is it? Now, as we were doing the soap, I actually snapped the wire. So this is what this little wire looks like. And you can get new ones as well. This is a new one. And I actually got this from Crafted Surprise. They actually sell them. So this is what it looks like. And this bit goes into the little screw. So in the side here, there is a screw, and then you've got to take it out, and basically I'll show you. You just push it through this. Let me do it the right way. So just literally sits in this little hole, and then we're going to screw it back in to the soap cutter. So that's as simple as it gets, to be really honest. Yeah, so, and sometimes this happens, and we're using a soap that's already cured, so means it's a little bit harder as well. And then we're just going to screw this back in. I don't have a screwdriver, so I'm just using the end of this knife just to put the screw back in. And then this is going to hold this super tight just to the end. And once that's done, then we need to do the rest of it, which basically this is going to go underneath here and through the front. So let me just pop it through. So there is a slit at the bottom, and you'll be able to see it. It's very clear. And if you can, you probably can't see because I'm holding the wire in my hand, but basically it goes around here and is going to wrap around the bit at the front. So I've got it all sitting in here, all beautiful. So, and now we're going to tie it around at the front, and then of course we can tighten everything up. So that's basically what happens. And when I first did it, I thought I had no idea how to even do this. So maybe I'll do another video, everyone, so that you can see like how to actually do this, because it's not that easy. Sometimes, you know, you just don't know. Anyway, so we've got it in here, and now I'll turn it around, and at the front of it here, so we've got it sitting in here, and then this is the bit that's going to cut. So then you've got this little knob here, and on this little knob, it's got like a little hole, so you're going to thread it through the hole and then just pull it tight around it, and then that's really it. It's not that difficult, but it's tricky if you don't know, isn't it? So if you don't know how to do this, it is a little bit more tricky. And then you can use this on the side. This little bit here is going to tighten this up. So let's just pull it through here. And then we're just literally going to wrap this around, and we're going to do this so that we tighten it. This is the tension, which is going to just pull everything nice and tight. And then we can cut the soap again. And, you know, sometimes you'll get a fright when it cuts, which I have, definitely. Anyway, like, we're going to tighten this up, and then we will get going again. Now, one thing when you're doing this is if you flick this and it doesn't make a pretty guitar-like sound, if you can hear that, it's kind of okay. And then we'll test it out, and we'll do the first one and see how we go. So I'm just going to turn it the right way for me. And let's cut the last few. Now I can hear that it's not pushing through very well at the bottom, so that just means that I need to just tighten it up a little bit for the next one. So I'll do that. So like I said, just tighten it a little bit, and you know, just go slow at the start until you know that you've got it well, because it has to do with the tension of it as well. And then you can hear it pop through. So we'll try another one. And so I'm just going to do half a little turn. And that's as simple as that. Hopefully I've taught you something with cutting soap. Because, you know, look, these things happen. And like I said, when I first did it, I had no idea how to fix it. All right, we are done with this. So I'm going to move this out the way and then I'm going to show you the next step. So basically what you want to do is cut some pieces just like this, but I'll show you how I got the right size. And then we're going to wrap the soap. So I'm going to show you how to do it. So we just need a roll of this. This is just a craft paper. Now, one thing to remember is some soap may sweat. So what you might want to do is put a piece of like wax-proof paper or something in the middle. That's generally what I do. So I'm going to show you how I actually do this. So now I just have my craft paper. This is like $2 a roll. It's pretty cheap. I didn't buy the cheapest one. I bought the medium quality. Don't buy the ones that are really, really cheap because they might not be very good. And we're just going to unroll it. And now we're going to measure the soap. So I'm just going to give you a bit of an idea. So if we've got a soap like this, we'll measure our soap. Now our soap says it's 8 centimeters long. Now, obviously, we need room to wrap it. We want about 2 centimeters on either side. So I'm going to say we want like roughly, I'd say 12 centimeters, you know, about 11.5 to 12 centimeters across. Let me just move that out the way. And then you're just going to measure this across here. And then this is literally how I'm going to cut it. And so then I know my soap is going to sit in here and be pretty good. So, you know, look, just to be sure, add a little bit more. So we'll say 13 centimeters, okay, for this one. So it's a couple centimeters on either side. It gives us room to roll it over and just to make it beautiful. So I'm going to put a little bit of a line here so that I know, and then I'm just roughly going to cut it because it doesn't have to be perfect. So I've got my scissors here. So like I said, let's just cut it here. So this is about 12.6, I think it was. But like I said, you just leave a couple centimeters on either side of your soap. We'll cut to the end because that way we can do a few in one go. And look, this is not the most time consuming, I'm going to be honest with you. But, you know, if you're newly started and you just don't have heaps of money, it's a great idea. This is how I started. And sometimes if I have a soap I want to move on, that's literally what I do. So now we've got our soap here. So you can see the soap's in here. And what I usually do is just wrap it so that there's a centimeter on top. And then I'm just going to cut in the middle. And then I'll show you. And then this, and this piece here, then this is like your template for further on. So if we just do this, we can see it easily wraps and then we can fold it over. So that's for the first bit. So now we've got our outside. Now this is just a wax-proof paper that's a couple dollars a roll. It is so cheap. And you don't need to have the same amount. I just basically, you know, cut to the end of the shape of the soap pretty much roughly. And you know, it doesn't need to wrap around. I'm just going to cut this in half. Like this is very rough because it doesn't matter. And then you're going to sit this in here. Make sure the waxy bit's on top because that is going to wrap around this little soap bar. And it's as simple as this. And then all I do is wrap this little bit here. Just hold it with my hands. Nothing too exciting. And then we're going to wrap this. And then usually I fold this edge just to make it look a bit neater. It's just like wrapping a present. And then that's basically the first bit. And I'm going to put just a tiny bit of sticky tape. You don't want to use heaps of tape. Just use a tiny, tiny bit. There are a lot of environmental tapes that you can use. You can even use those paper tapes if you really want. But I'm going to use minimal amount because I'm going to be using a Melbourne sticker that I have because I have the Melbourne machine and I'm just printing it out, thermal printing it, and then it's going to go on top. And I'll show you that as well because we're trying to keep this at a low cost, remember. So that way, you know, you can sell it for more. And I'm going to be honest, most times I make products, often the packaging can be one of the most expensive things in making these. So yeah, it's really hard, but you know, we're just going to do what we can do until we get bigger and better, don't we? So let me get the tape and I'll show you that. So now I've just got some normal sticky tape and I'm going to use the tiniest little bits, like a centimeter, just if you can kind of see it on there. You know, if you don't want to use this, there may be another way, but sometimes you've got to think of the end result, like what's it going to look like. And I try and use as much biodegradable products as I can, but there's sometimes that it's just a little bit difficult to do that. And all I'm doing is like, if you can see this, I'm folding it over in there, so then you've got your corner sticking up. And then it's just like wrapping a present. And then I'm just folding each corner in until we have a triangle at the end, and then just literally folding that over so that you can see, if you can see without my big hand in the way. And then, like I said, put a tiny little bit of tape on there. And then that is our parcel. Doesn't it look cute? And, you know, you're going to cover that tape because we're going to have a bit that says the ingredients here, but on the front, we're just going to have a label. So I'm going to go over to my mum bin, print it out, and I design it all on Pinterest. Sorry, not Pinterest, all on Canva. And then I print it on here and then make it beautiful. And then, of course, I need to take some photos, and I usually take my photos in here because I'm in my gorgeous, darling little shop today. And this is why I don't open the shop every day. I only open on a Saturday. If you want to come in and say hi, you know, I am in Warragul, which is out in the southeast of Victoria, or of course you can buy online. So anyway, like I said, we've done that bit, don't we? I already did one before. And it doesn't matter if they're not the exact same size. I mean, there might be a millimetre or two, the difference. But as long as they weigh the right amount, that's what we want to know. And now we're just going to go and get our stickers and pop the sticker on. All right, everyone, we are ready. So I thought, look, I've cut quite a few of these out to show everybody, and let's just pop them in. So like we said, you know, I've got my normal paper and I put it upside down. So make sure you got the shiny bit up, because that is the bit we're going to wrap. And, you know, as I did say earlier, I mean, if you're making thousands and thousands of bars of soap, maybe this would be a little bit annoying. But for me, I'm not really making that many bars of soap for what I'm doing here. Like usually I would have them in their own packaging or something. But, you know, if you don't want to do that, this is another idea. You can use wrapping paper or anything like that. But generally what I do is I actually design all of my soap wrapping on Canva, and then I actually get them printed through Vistaprint. So that's something you could do as well. It's much easier. You can just do them on an A5. I do have a video out on that, so just go and have a look. That was an older video I did quite some time ago, and for some reason I've cut this one too big, and that's all right. If you cut it too big, just snip it off at the end and we will do it. And I'll show you the labels that I've made as well, which I just went on to Mum Bin. So there you go. It's looking beautiful. It looks like a little present. So I just printed these ones out of Mum Bin. They're really cheap. They work out to be like 10 cents for one. And then, of course, on the back, this is, you know, all of the ingredients and everything you need to write. So do a little bit of research on that. So these are like, these look like glitter. They're kind of like a little bit glitterish. So then that's what it's going to look like. And if you have a company that's like just all natural, this would be perfect. You could even do this on craft paper rather than this glittery one, because this glittery one is probably not plastic free from Mum Bin. But the one good thing I do like from Mum Bin that I think is a really, really good thing. Sorry, let me concentrate for 1 second, because I don't have my glasses on. I want to make sure that I printed it out right. I knew it was upside down, see? Oh my goodness me, I'm so silly. Anyway, so they are done. They are looking a bit cute, aren't they? And like I said, these were bars that I thought, look, I'll just move these on. We'll just do them simple like this, because my new packaging is going to be in a box, and they're all going to be the same kind of image at the front. And then I'll just have a check box on the side. That's kind of the easiest way to do something like that. So it will say on the side, for instance, you know, if it was a mint one, it will say mint and so on. But anyway, it just gives you a bit of an idea, doesn't it? So I hope this has been helpful. I hope that you have enjoyed coming along with me to do this. And I'm going to tell you, this is so cheap. You know, like to wrap it with this paper, This paper is probably only going to cost you, I'm going to say 10 cents. I think that's what it would be. It might even be less because it's very cheap and you can get, you know, dozens and dozens and dozens out of this. But, you know, and so, like, I reckon if you add, it'd be 10 cents to wrap it and maybe, you know, maybe 30 cents in total. The time that, you know, like you pay for the stickers and things like that, but it depends how many you're getting. Mumban's very cheap. It doesn't cost for ink because remember it's a thermal printer. So, and I have found with the thermal ones, you know, the printing, they haven't, the ink has not gone or the color has not gone. The only thing I've noticed is if you do ones like I actually wrapped some shower steamers, and because it has the menthol crystals, that made the colour go away. So that's the thing with that. So, yeah, so you have to kind of think of those things, don't you? Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video, my lovelies, and I will get going and wrap the rest of these up, and I'm going to see you next time. Bye.